Alright guys, I fixed my webcam finally, so now I'm ready to make this video. This is going to be rant or whatever you want to call it, but this is a video towards 343 Industries. I know they're not going to watch it because, we all know how they are. But I'm going to make it anyway, just for my sake and to get some stuff off my chest. So let's talk about what 343 is doing here. So MCC got announced back at E3 in July, I think, was when the convention was. Um, Everyone got excited. We only expected them to announce Halo 2 Anniversary, which I was excited for, and I would have been happy with just Halo 2 Anniversary, but they went beyond that, and they said that Halo 1, Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo 3, Halo 4, plus we're going to get Nightfall, which is the movie, plus we're going to get Halo 5 Guardians beta for 3 weeks starting in December leading into January, which was crazy. And not only did they do that, but they showed us a trailer for Halo 5 Guardians. They said that it's going to be arena kind of shooter kind of style. They're going to make it so there's not going to be loadouts in Halo 5 Guardians. There's going to be fair starts. No one's going to have something that the other person doesn't have at the start of the game. And they said that there's not going to be armor abilities. There's not going to be any stupid stuff. Maybe there's going to be a sprint. If that's the worst that's going to come out in Halo 5, then we should be breathing a sigh of relief for that. And they said that there's going to be Spartan abilities, and people got upset with that because when you hear Spartan abilities, you think armor abilities, but they said that that's on the lines of dual wielding and jacking a ghost and stuff. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, so they're just going to add new stuff that Spartans can do. So where to begin? So we had tournaments. We had a tournament in Clone for Halo 2 Anniversary, and we had a tournament at Gamescom, and they were fantastic to watch, Halo 2 Anniversary. But the competitive people, like T Squared and all these other pros, and Ogre 2 and Victory X, and all these pros that have been here since either Halo 1 in 2004 or Halo 2 when it started in the MLG competitive scene in 2005. We want to see Halo 2 Classic now. That's what we want to see. We want to see that on a tournament style now in 2014. We want to see how it's progressed, if it's changed at all. We want to see it. We want to get that nostalgic feeling. And with Halo 2 Anniversary, we kind of get the nostalgic feeling, but we don't really get it 100%, and we want to get it 100%. Now, we aren't mad that there's Halo 2 Anniversary tournaments. Actually, I'm excited there's Halo 2 Anniversary tournaments because, we haven't had Halo 2 tournaments on this kind of a scale and magnitude in quite some time. When they had the AGL tournaments, we got maybe a couple thousand people watching, if I can remember that correctly. The Halo 4 Global Championship was probably the biggest event that we've had since then, and now we've got these tournaments. We've got a PGL tournament, online tournament that's coming out. We've got a UGC St. Louis event coming in January, and then we've got this tournament that's going on right now until the 11th when MCC comes out in about 3 days, or 2 days, because I live on the West Coast, so it comes out at 9:01 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12:01 Eastern Standard Time. 12:01 a.m. But now they're changing stuff. The first thing that people have seen were changes with Halo 1 because they're using the PC version, which is understandable because Halo 1 didn't have Xbox Live. It had no online functionality built into the game, and it wasn't, supposed to be like that. But people made Xbox Connect, and they made it like that. But that was for the Xbox. And then they went to Halo PC, so it's kind of understandable. And they're changing stuff. They're fixing the split screen, the field of vision, and all that. So they're listening, sort of, kind of. And then now we look at Halo 2, and we're getting kind of worried because we noticed that the carbine is from Halo 2 Vista. So we're like, is this a Halo Xbox build, or is this a Halo 2 Vista build? And they did confirm, I believe, that it is an Xbox build, but they're adding some PC stuff to it, which is whatever. The carbine shoots like a machine gun, and it gets me kind of scared because I don't want to use the carbine as the primary weapon. I want to use it as a secondary weapon on the map. So hopefully they'll leave it on the map, and we'll be using the BRs for double shooting and BXRing and stuff. But how are we going to be able to really use Halo, to its full potential if we're not using the most skilled Halo that is out? And, for anyone that argues that Halo 1 is better than Halo 2, I respect that, and I won't argue with you because, in my opinion, I say that Halo 1 and Halo 2 are equal games, but I will always say, because Halo 2 is my favorite game of all time, that Halo 2 is better than Halo 1. But that's just my opinion. And, you know, we've got the BXR, we've got BXB, BYB, all these freaking glitches that take so much skill to master and so much skill to really use when you're getting pressured by an enemy player in game, that why wouldn't we use the most competitive game out there? I just don't understand. And then when Scott Gandhi, one of the guys, he's playing on Purple Rain at this tournament. He's going with Elitis, Maven, which is one of his best friend, and then he's going with Legion as well. And he posted on Twitter something on the lines like, and I can find the tweet right now. Actually, I might even put it in the link so you can check it out. But if you go to Scott Gandhi's Twitter and you can look, it's like from 3 days ago. You can see him say something on the lines like, "Oh, we're not, oh, no Halo 2 Classic at this tournament. Sad face." And he's not raging. He's just saying, "Oh, sad face." He's a little sad, but he's probably still happy because it's still Halo 2 anniversary. And then Quinn Delahoyo, the freaking douchebag that he is, he says to Gandhi something on the lines like, "Oh yeah, actually, you know what? I can probably pull up the tweet right now." But let me talk about something else real quick. So there's not going to be ranks in the game at all, besides one playlist, and it's not a coincidence. Actually, it is really upsetting because we were guaranteed by Dan Ayub that it's going to be the experience that we had 10 years ago. He said, and I quote, "You're going to be getting the experience that you remember exactly how you remember it." Of course I'm paraphrasing, but he said exactly how you remember it from 10 years ago, Halo 2. And I remember it having ranks. So when we're not getting ranks, that's kind of upsetting, and it is what it is, but it really is upsetting. And I'm trying to find this tweet here if I can, but if you go to Quinn Delahoyo's Twitter, you could probably find it, because he doesn't tweet that much. But when he does, it's always like a douchebag tweet, and I really just don't like his attitude. But let me see if I can find it here. He tweets at Scott Gandhi, and he just keeps on tweeting him and stuff, saying all this other stuff like, "Oh, we're just trolling," and all this. But he says that, "Oh, I wouldn't want dev support either. If we have these Halo 2 Classic tournaments, we won't get dev support." It's pretty much what he's saying, and it's really upsetting that he's gonna act like that. Okay, here we go. I found it. I'm gonna find it right here. So Gandhi says, "So H2A, which is Halo 2 Anniversary, is the official game for the Halo Championship Series," and then he says, "Sad face." And then Quinn says, "Yeah, having 3v3 create and run the league for their own game made me sad too. Would rather have no dev support." What an asshole! What an asshole! Really? Like, did Gandhi say that? Did Gandhi get mad because 3v3 was creating and running the league? No, he just said that he was a little sad that it wasn't Halo 2 Classic, because Gandhi was a beast and he went pro and made a lot of money in Halo 2 Classic. So when Delahoyo is like, "Oh yeah, having 3v3 create and run the league for their own game made me sad too," like, he is putting words in Gandhi's mouth, first of all, and he's being a complete douchebag, as always. And these 3for3 employees are really starting to piss me off. Number one, Frank O'Connor never smiles, the director. I don't know if he's like the boss of this thing, but he is the big cajon show. So far, is what we've seen. We haven't seen anybody else bigger than him that's working at 3for3. But he's the director of this whole entire franchise, the Halo 4, Halo 5, and Halo 6, and MCC franchise. And he never smiles. He never shows any enthusiastic. And it's because he doesn't like Halo. He doesn't like Halo the way it is. He loves Halo 4 because he created that, And he hired a bunch of people that hated the way Halo was. That hated the way Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3 were, and it was freaking retarded that they did it that way. Because they're like, "Oh, we're just going to screw what our fans think and what they say. We're not going to take into consideration, what they're going to think about this. We're not going to ask them, 'Hey, do you want sprint in your game? Hey, do you want bloom still? Do you want armor abilities, tactical abilities, all this stuff?' No, we'll just put it in the game. We're not going to ask them, right?" And it's like, the same thing. Are we going to ask our fans, do you want? Then they should have done this on Halo Waypoint. They should have posted a poll, being like, all right, guys, we're going to be running only one game at these Halo Championship Series tournaments. What game do you guys want? And I swear I bet, man, that it would be Halo 2 Classic. Halo 1 would be close behind by like 100 votes, but everyone and their grandma would want Halo 2 Classic because that's the game that was just the best, and it took the most skill because of the button glitches. And we want the game that takes the most skill to be played on a competitive level because that's where all the competition is, and that's where you're going to see players like Legit or Nated or Ogre 2 going off, and they're going to be playing their limits, and they're going to be playing their best that you'll ever see them play, is when you're playing on a competitive level. But if you have Halo 2 Anniversary, you're never going to see Ogre 2 BXR. You're never going to see anybody troubleshoot. You're never going to see why it took so much skill to play Halo 2 and why the skill gap was like this. Now it's like this. Because that's what separated the noobs and the semi-pros and the pros from each other. Is that the pros could double shot with one hand behind their back, It's just so frustrating that they don't care. And that they say that, oh, we're going to have ranks for every single playlist except a couple social playlists like Big Team Battle and Social Team, which is cool, have a couple playlists for the noobs. But then they're like, oh, because we're still fine-tuning things and we don't think the ranks are ready yet, we're only going to have ranks for one playlist. And coincidentally enough, it's for Halo 2 Anniversary, our freaking baby, right? And then Bravo says he comes out because a lot of people are hating on him now. Not him, but hating on 3v3. We can't really blame Bravo or Dursky or any of the pros because they don't really have a say in things. They're just the puppets. I mean, they're just the puppets. And 3v3, Frank O'Connor, Kiki Wolfkill, Bonnie Ross, Dan Ayub, and Dan freaking Quinn Del Hoyo. They're the puppeteers, and he says, like, we're not trying to push Halo 2 Anniversary down your throat or force you to play it, but we're trying to advertise it so that we can get this Halo Championship Series rolling and get a lot of sponsors and a lot of people backing us and stuff. Well, when you make only one playlist ranked, you kind of are forcing it down our throats, So it kind of pisses me off when he says that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. I've pretty much said everything I want to say, but Halo 2 Anniversary is only going to have 3 competitive maps. Shrine, which is Sanctuary, Warlord, which is Warlock, and then you're going to have Lockdown, which is Lockout. And you can say you're going to have Ascension. Ascension, I don't think, is a bad map for competitive Team Slayer. You could try King of the Hill. I don't think it's going to work, but Team Slayer is okay on Ascension. But we want at least 2 or 3 more maps. And Forge has always been a bitch. In Halo 3, we had Onslaught and Amplified, but there's always a thing with Forge. Whether you're going to get frame rate issues or screen lag, your screen's going to freeze for a couple seconds, or it's going to be like Halo Reach Force system where you throw a grenade on the ground and you're walking, and you grenade yourself because the grenade gets caught on the ground because the Forger can't move the cracks together. Because that's not how it works. They can't move the cracks together any more than they already are. Because the system isn't good enough to do that. And in Halo 4, it was better, but there was still frame rate issues, screen lag, and a couple geometry errors. Now, in Halo 4 Forge system, they did show that you can be more accurate with the geometry and move those cracks together. So I hope everything is going to be good. So I will put faith in this Forge system. I will put faith in it. But if I see one thing that I know is going to fuck up the gameplay, I'm going to start bitching like I'm bitching right now. Because so many people don't want Forge maps. Because no matter how good your Forge system is, it's never going to be good as the maps that are made by the developers using their computer. Making a map by the computer is better than making a map using Forge, because you're not fine-tuning things and stuff. But hopefully it'll get better. That Battle Canyon remake on the Forge system looks sick. We didn't actually go in the bases and get to see all the geometry and see if there's anything wrong with it, but for the most part it looked good. But in summary, the whole point of this video is to get it out there that 3v3 are a bunch of little brats, spoiled brats. They get the franchise by Microsoft. Microsoft says, hey, you can make Halo now. And the fans hate Halo 4 because we don't like that stuff. We don't like sprint. We don't like armor abilities. We don't like tactical abilities. We want to spawn with a battle rifle, and we want to just use our skills. Put a rocket launcher on top mid. Put, a sniper down below the sniper tower, and we're good. Maybe put an overshield over there. We're good. We don't need that much. We just need a good map. Give us a BR, a couple power weapons, a power up, and let us play. And the casual players are the same. Of course, more casual players are going to love the sprint and all this stuff because it's more fun to them. But for competitive players, the people, that's another thing I want to talk about. I'm glad I remember this. Who kept your game alive, 3v3? Who kept your game alive when nobody else really wanted to play it in Halo 4? We did. We kept your game alive. Team Beyond Entertainment, they ran a bunch of tournaments. Not only for Halo 4, but for Halo 3 and Halo Reach. And we tried as a competitive community to keep the game alive. And how do you repay us? By saying, fuck you, competitive community. Fuck you, Team Beyond. We don't care what you did for our game. We're not going to show appreciation. We're going to run Halo 2 Anniversary, and you're going to play it, and you're going to put a smile on. Fuck Halo 1. Fuck Halo 2. We're not going to put that in. We don't like that. We're going to put our own game in. We're going to put in Halo 2 Anniversary. But we can see it's not Halo 2 Anniversary, because if you rub off the title, you can start noticing that it's called Halo 2 Anniversary, but then in parentheses, it's Halo 4 2.0. The announcer is the same, or actually, no. The announcer is worse. He's like, capture the enemy flag and bring it back to score. It's like, no shit, dumbass. Is that what we're supposed to do and capture the flag? We're supposed to go bring their flag back to their base? And Halo 2 was just like, capture the flag. Well, that was a bad voice impersonation, but the announcer is a big deal. It's a big deal. A lot of people really care about what the announcer sounds like. We want to hear double kill, triple kill, not double kill or triple kill. Like, we don't need an announcer that's so freaking enthusiastic. We want an announcer that sounds pissed off and sounds like he's in a bad mood because that's what the original announcer was. And they're not using the same announcer guy, and I really wish that they would have, but for whatever reason they got a new announcer guy. And yeah, I think that's about it for this rant. I already went off on 3v3 on Twitter, so they already know what's up. I know they're not going to watch this video. Another thing I want to talk about was Halo 4 Global Championship. Back when it was, I don't know what week this was, maybe week 4, I had 2 losses, so I was, trying hard every game, because if I lost one more time, I'd be out for that week. It was the SWAT week, playing SWAT. It was on Haven, and I remember this game wasn't that close. I won, 25 kills, and I think this person next to me had like 17 kills or something, so I won, no question asked. And then I went to HaloWaypoint.com, and you had to get like 20 wins, I believe, to be qualified for it. I can't remember. It's been a year or 2 years or something since the tournament. But I went on there on Halo Waypoint to check my recent games to make sure it counted as a win, and they counted it as a loss. So what I did is like, okay, there's a theater system in Halo 4, so I have proof. I have proof that I won the game. So I'm like, okay, I'll just hit up Twitter. I'm like, all right, twitter.com/Bravo Didinsky. I'm like, hey, Bravo, your system counted my game as a loss. Here's the video. Here's proof that I won. Can you please make it right? And I kept tweeting them. I tweeted BS Angel, Tim, Frankie, everybody. I didn't get a response from anybody. And it wasn't only me. If you know who VWS Broadside is, he was also having problems contacting them. And there was a couple other people that had problems contacting them. They weren't there for customer service. We're in your tournament playing, and we're getting fucked over, and you're not going to respond to us. Like, wow. Really, that's the company you guys are. That shows a lot. It really shows a lot of how much you care for your community, for your fans that are fans of your game and stuff. So, it really pisses me off that they're not going to run Halo 2 Classic tournaments. Hopefully somebody else will. Another thing that really pisses me off is that we are getting dedicated servers for matchmaking, but we're not getting dedicated servers for custom games. And that's really, really a big deal, because that means that we're still going to get fucked over by all these online warriors. So players that have so much talent and have so much skill, my team included, we're going to get fucked over playing these online tournaments for money because people are going to eat bullets still. Titanfall had dedicated servers not only for matchmaking but custom games, and you can't make it. In 2014 on the Xbox One, you can't make it so that there's dedicated servers in custom games as well? Why? That's my question. Why? When so many people just want to have fairness, fair games in Xbox Live because they don't have enough money to go out to tournaments, because their parents won't let them go out to tournaments to play on LAN, to have fair starts. You just can't make dedicated servers or custom games, but you can make it for matchmaking. I would rather you take out the matchmaking dedicated servers and put those in the custom games, because that's what's really going to count. But, I mean, we saw the little Moa, who is one of the guys that is a staff member who works for Beyond Entertainment, and he was one of the first Beyond Entertainment guys to get the Halo Master Chief Collection, and he streamed it, and he had hosts, but he lives in the United Kingdom, and one of the other guys' point of view was being shown, and he was eating all these shots, and it was on a United Kingdom host, and it just proved that there's no dedicated servers for custom games, and that's a big deal, and you're gonna get a lot of flack for that 3v3. But yeah, I think I've talked about everything that I want to talk about. I don't care how long this video is, because all this needs to be said. Got to get this off my chest. This is one of my last rants. If 3v3 fucks up something else, I'll be sure to make a video on that. But they really just pissed me off. They pissed a lot of people off, a lot of competitive players that really wanted Halo 2 Classic. Even if Halo 3 was the game of choice, I would have been happy, man. But they really just have to be spoiled little brats who just want what they want, and they just don't understand that it's not what you want, it's what your fans want. Because without your fans, without anybody supporting you, you would be nothing. It doesn't matter how good your game is, you would be nothing without us. And you need to remember that. When you go to sleep at night, you need to remember that you're nothing without us. Same with somebody that makes money off of Twitch or makes money off of YouTube. Without your viewers, without your subscribers, you would have no money income. You would be nothing. Without somebody viewing your Twitch channel, you would be nothing. And people need to realize that. And give back to your fans, give back to your viewers, give back to your supporters, people who donate to you. Because without them, you would be nothing. And you'd be working a job at Home Depot or, whatever. Or you'd be in the army. Who knows? But it's just like you couldn't put up a poll. If you put up a poll and everyone picked Halo 2 Anniversary, I'd be like, alright, respect. Everyone picked Halo 2 Anniversary over Halo 2 Classic and Halo 1. I'd be a little upset, but you know what? Fair is fair, and Halo 2 Anniversary got picked. I'm ready to play Halo 2A, but that wasn't the case. 3v3, you guys picked it for us. You don't care what we have to say, so you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to play in your stupid-ass tournaments and your stupid-ass custom game, no dedicated server lobbies. I'm not going to put a smile on. I'm not going to be happy about it. But as a competitive player, I can't ignore competitive play. It's not going to be as competitive as I want it to be with BXRing and button glitches. And I'll play in your stupid one-ranked playlist, which is Halo 3 Anniversary, coincidentally. But I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to do it. And I'm going to be bitching until you fix it. And if you never fix it, then I'll be bitching until Halo 5. And if there's something in Halo 5 that I don't like that's on the lines of this, I'll be bitching. And Halo 6, same thing. I'm never going to stop. Not until you fix this stuff. I don't care if I'm the only one bitching about this stuff, because it really needs to be fixed and it really needs to be said. So I'll be sending this video to you guys. If you don't watch it, I'm not surprised. But yeah, catch you guys later.